G'day mate, this is Dina Lee
and Cassandra Zenner.
And Poonam Raywal.
Today we'll be presenting to you about a book called The Rabbits. As a group, we worked together on the analysis. Kais and myself worked on this script, and Dina and Poonam worked on the classroom application portion.
The Rabbits by John Marsden, illustrated by Sean Tan, is a picture book aimed at portraying European colonization of Indigenous people. It is a great hookbook that can be used at any grade level, as it has many layers of meaning that can be addressed at varying levels of depth. The imagery and illustrations are rich in meaning and can be used to address not only the book's topic, but also the use of different mediums in fine arts. This book lends itself well to being used in interdisciplinary classrooms, addressing social justice issues, history, language, imagery, and upon inquiry could be used in science. For example, to discover how the rabbits' machinery gave them an advantage over Indigenous society. This resource would also prove to be useful in discussing similar societal stories, taking students around the world and expanding their understanding on a global platform.
There are, however, some problematic issues around this book. It is not, for one, written or illustrated by an Indigenous person, although the text is written from the perspective of an Indigenous person. There has been some resistance to its use in schools in Australia due to the fears of it playing on white guilt, especially due to its choices in using rabbits to portray the colonizers. Rabbits in Australia are viewed as being vermin responsible for the extinction of native species and the devastation of the natural landscape. They are actively hunted in hopes of exterminating them. The rabbits need to be recognized as an introduction to the topic of colonization, as it does not address Indigenous culture and identity and portrays the colonial exchange as being one way only from colonizer to colonized. The numbats are portrayed as being passive, primitive, and bystanders to their own history, which further perpetuates stereotypes already common in our society.
The Rabbits is a good introduction to social justice issues related to First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. It does an excellent job of evoking emotional responses to historical injustices. With few words being used in the text, it is accessible to diverse learner needs and can be used at a deeper level with those students with barriers to reading. The Rabbits, however, sacrifices depth, especially regarding Indigenous life before colonization, in its search for an emotional response. It portrays the numbats as living in trees, while the rabbits live in houses, when in fact the Indigenous populations lived in homes suited to their environmental and societal needs. We believe that Marsden and Tan's picture book would be a great classroom resource, so long as its deficiencies are recognized and addressed as learning moments. Thanks for listening.